Jerome Powell akan menaikkan suku bunga pada 0,75% dan akan berusaha menurunkan inflasi Amerika Serikat ke level 2%.
Here we go again. It is Fed Decision Day, live from New York City. For our audience worldwide, good morning, good morning. The countdown to the open starts right now.
We are expecting 75.
They're going to go ahead and hike 75 basis points.
75 basis points.
Another 75 basis point hike.
Chairman Powell has got one mission.
Stamp out inflation.
Deal with inflation.
If they are even more hawkish than the hawkish expectations. And I think that wouldn't be received very well by risk assets, and particularly by equity markets. But if we had anything less than 75 basis points, there would be a lot of head scratching. I think we're all in that same.
My colleagues and I are strongly committed to bringing inflation back down to our 2% goal. We have both the tools we need and the resolve that it will take to restore price stability on behalf of American families and businesses. Price stability is the responsibility of the Federal Reserve and serves as the bedrock of our economy. Without price stability, the economy does not work for anyone. In particular, without price stability, we will not achieve a sustained period of strong labor market conditions that benefit all.
2 hours ago, the Federal Reserve just raised their benchmark interest rates by another 75 basis points, which means as of today, we are now sitting at the highest interest rates that we've seen since 2008. This also marks the end of the free money era that was started over 40 years ago, where every rate increase was unable to surpass the previous high before it. But now we've completely broken that trend and the money printer is officially turned off.
Let's bring in Natalie Brunell. She's the host of the Coin Stories podcast. Natalie, great to have you here. We see you on Outnumbered. We saw you on Outnumbered earlier. And we hear you talking about all things the economy at a point in time when there's a modern way to look at how we can invest in a pretty complicated market environment, but you have a unique way of looking at things. Your reaction to the news here and how people can sort of play this.
Yeah, well, thank you so much for having me. What's sad is that we can't save in this country anymore. Savings have been destroyed by inflation, and really it's not new. It's just been accelerated as the result of the pandemic and more money printing. And the truth is, our economy cannot sustain high interest rates. We've had monetary policy over the last several decades that have flowed free money to capital markets, and all that's done is created a ton of wealth concentration. So it's really no surprise.
If you go look at Bitcoin, the 1 minute chart, well, what is this? What is, I say, volatility incoming on Twitter. You can't trust anything that occurs. You go up, you go down, right? You go up, you go down. You can't trust any of the stuff that occurs during these meetings. It's best to just plan ahead of time and you go into it and you just brace for impact, because every single time is a roller coaster. The NASDAQ is down a bit today, down about 1.2% at the time of this video. Just a few moments ago, it was all the way back up at at least the US 100 index was all the way back up to 12,000. Obviously, the US dollar currency index is pushing higher. We said that it probably would, and here it is, right? It continues to push higher. Remember, as the dollar continues to push higher, it'll likely continue to push risk assets down, or at least under some level of pressure. It doesn't mean they can't occasionally rally, but look, as long as the Fed keeps raising interest rates, and we're all tuning into the FOMC meetings every single month, we're likely still a ways away from this longer period of expansion. I think some people want to just see, let's just have a bull market for 6 months and then deal with the consequences later. No, we did that in the 70s. Okay, let's get away from that. I would say Powell, I think, is doing I think he's doing the right thing. Honestly, I think he's front loading interest rates. Kind of sucks, right? But if you're stacking cash, it doesn't. If you're stacking cash, you're kind of cheering the dollar on, okay? And I've said all 2022, right? Stack cash is my personal goal, right? Not financial advice, doesn't be what you have to do, but certainly if you're listening to what Powell is saying, he acknowledges the pain that is being caused by raising interest rates, but he insists that the alternative pain is entrenched inflation, which we know how bad that can be, and we don't want to deal with that again. So,
Kripto membutuhkan kerangka regulasi global. IMF telah meminta regulator keuangan di seluruh dunia untuk bersama-sama mengembangkan kerangka peraturan global untuk aset kripto. Menurut Aditya Narain dan Marina Moretti, masing-masing wakil direktur dan asisten direktur dari Departemen Moneter dan Pasar Modal IMF, mengatakan bahwa kerangka kerja global akan menertibkan pasar, membantu menanamkan kepercayaan konsumen, menetapkan batas-batas dari apa yang diperbolehkan, dan menyediakan ruang yang aman untuk inovasi. Menurutnya, tidak adanya respon global yang terkoordinasi terhadap ledakan kripto telah memberi jalan bagi regulasi tingkat nasional yang terfragmentasi yang mengarah pada arbitrase regulasi. Karena aktor kripto bermigrasi ke yurisdiksi yang paling ramah dengan peraturan yang paling ketat, sambil tetap dapat diakses kepada siapa saja yang memiliki akses internet. IMF telah menekankan bahwa respon global harus dilakukan lebih cepat untuk menghindari perbedaan peraturan. JP Morgan akan tetap menyediakan layanan kripto meskipun pasar sedang berdarah-darah. Perusahaan jasa keuangan terkemuka JP Morgan Chase & Co. mengungkapkan bahwa kliennya telah secara drastis menurunkan minat mereka untuk menggunakan cryptocurrency sebagai metode pembayaran dalam beberapa bulan terakhir. Namun, JP Morgan meyakinkan bahwa mereka akan tetap mendukung konsumen yang ingin menggunakan aset digital sebagai alat pembayaran. Crypto winter yang sedang berlangsung tampaknya telah mempengaruhi minat orang pada digital aset. Dalam wawancara baru-baru ini untuk Bloomberg, Takis Georgiakopoulos, kepala pembayaran global di JP Morgan, mengatakan kliennya jauh lebih cenderung menggunakan cryptocurrency sebagai alat pembayaran 6 bulan lalu. Perlu dicatat bahwa saat itu harga Bitcoin berada di sekitar 40.000 US dollar. Sementara Ether dan banyak altcoin lainnya juga berkinerja jauh lebih baik daripada sekarang. Namun, pada pertengahan tahun 2022, makroekonomi global berubah secara drastis, dan itu mungkin telah menghilangkan minat terhadap cryptocurrency. Konflik militer di Ukraina melahirkan rekor tertinggi inflasi selama 40 tahun di Amerika Serikat, krisis energi di Uni Eropa, dan banyak lagi. Terlepas dari kondisi ekonomi tersebut, Georgiakopoulos meyakinkan bahwa JP Morgan akan tetap menyediakan layanan cryptocurrency kepada kliennya. Raksasa Wall Street percaya bahwa token semacam itu dapat menemukan tempat di sistem moneter masa depan. Selain itu, mereka menjadi semakin populer di sektor game dan metaverse. Sekian berita hari ini. Dukung channel ini dengan subscribe, nyalakan loncengnya, dan like ya. Terima kasih.